do head outside single. So head inside single, we got the squeeze, we got tap the knee, catch the foot, spin. We have the knifer. All right, big pain move there. We can do it defensively, offensively when they get in on a single leg. Now guys, head outside single. This one's different than a head inside single. Notice his head position. Head inside single, head's on the inside. When I shove his head down, I start sprawling and squaring up, his head just feeds right between my hips, or right here on my waist and my hips. Head outside single, guys. When I sprawl and I kick my legs back, his head's still on the outside. Very important here, guys. I'm going to shove his head down, deep tight waist. I'm going to run my feet in my hips that direction. I have to get my hips over his head. Come this way a little bit. So head outside single, once he gets in, I'm starting to give him some hips. Head down, feet back, deep tight waist. Same hand, the tight waist on the head inside single is going to tight waist here. Same hand that shoves his head down on the head inside, shoves his head down on the head outside single. I'm going to sprawl my legs back. Now guys, the biggest mistake here is you guys are not going to cover his head. Have to cover his head. I'm going to run my hips and my feet that direction. So when I start to sprawl, I go here. I keep stuffing his head until his head's on the inside. All right? Biggest mistake I see with this one, head outside single. Scoot back a little bit. You're going to shove the head down. You're going to sprawl. You're going to kick your legs back. And you get to this position. You guys see his head? His head's on the outside. All right? Even if I'm here and I'm giving them hips, the stud, they can pull the leg in. They can lift their head up. And they're going to go to a rotate double. All right? Make sure, guys, I do not want to give him any opportunities. Head inside single, head outside single. Anytime, guys, I can pop my head out and pull the leg in, that's what the stud's going to do. Guys, when I was wrestling in high school and in college, sometimes I didn't have the best setup, best shot. I would get in, I'd pull the leg in, and I'd try to fight my head to the outside. It sucks, guys, if you're wrestling someone that has good hips and keeps your head covered, because you can't get your head up. Very difficult to score there. All right, so guys, the whole main key, this whole session, baseline defense. Head down, feet back, deep tight waist. Cover his head with your hips. If you guys can just get that technique down right there, you're going to be ahead of 90% of the wrestlers, all right, with defense. Getting his head down and covering his head with your hips. So on a head outside single, I have to run my feet big time here. I'm sprawling my legs back, shoving his head down, but my hips, I keep stuffing his head. As I run my feet, I'm going to keep stuffing his head until his head gets to the inside. Here, head down, feet back, deep tight waist. I keep stuffing until I get his head here. Now, guys, once I'm in this position, it's tough to get around behind him. I know a head inside single, we got some technique. Usually, guys, turn this way. Once his head's in, I'm going to just post on his knees and try to break the lock and slide off the position. All right, I'm posting on his knees. I'm up on my toes. I run my feet back and forth, and I bring my hips in. I just slide off. I wiggle my hips, and I slide off. There he builds up, and I catch him in a front headlock. Stop him from getting the takedown. Then, guys, I have the advantage. I have a front headlock. Now I'm looking to score. Hey, guys, if by chance he's really strong, forearm really strong, and he has a good lock, and I cannot break that lock. All right, what I'm going to do, guys, number one, I try to break it by getting my hips in. Look at my knees. I learned this in college. If my knees are on the mat, here, see my knees are on the mat, I'm giving them my hips, but it's not as much pressure. When I lift my knees off the mat, here, what that does, guys, instead of his arms being here, it raises them up just a little bit higher. Puts a little bit more pressure on them. So if I'm trying to break this lock, watch my knees. Knees come up, and then, guys, all the weight's on his shoulders. I'm going to post on his knees. I run my feet left and right and back. As I do that, guys, I'm roughing them up with my hips, left and right. So I'm here. Keep your hands locked. Yep. But don't hold them the whole time. You're going to hurt your shoulders. Post on the knees. Here, knees come up. I go left and right. There, I break the lock. If by chance I can't break it, we've all been there. If I can't break the lock, now you're going to hold them the whole time. I'm posting. Here, I'm trying to break it. It doesn't work. I'm just going to extend his base. I post on his knees, and I'm doing this. I keep going, keep going, keep going, until he flattens out. Then, guys, elbow in his hip. I'm going to attack this elbow, and I spin. All right? But the big thing is, guys, stopping him from scoring on a head covering his head with your hips. If he stays locked, post, come up on your toes, get your knees off the mat, left and right. What that does, guys, it lifts up the shoulders and it roughs them up. If it starts getting tight on your shoulders, all right, let go. I don't want anyone to hurt the shoulder here. Again, head outside single. Here, head down, feet back, deep tight waist here. Notice, guys, my hips cover his head, chest is off his back. I'm in a good position. Post, hips hit them, and I lift my knees off the mat. Here. See how I move my hips? I'm going to see a lot of you guys do this. All right, guys, that's not going to break the lock. Here. I'm hitting them with my hips. Left, right. I'm shoving the knees, and I'm on my toes. Puts a lot of pressure on his shoulders. If he still holds on, flatten them out, and pop that elbow. We got it, guys? All right, guys, we're getting back to the same thing on a head inside single. Only difference is, now, guys, his head's on this side. Run your hips over his head. We got it? Any questions? Right after this one, guys, I'll give you a quick break. Let's do it. 1, 2.